Hello, everyone. It is our March office hour. Thank you all for joining us today. Today, we will continue to ground all of our conversation around our state goals for Best for All. We are focusing on educators today. Specifically, today we're going to be talking about how you can support your teachers as portfolio leads as we are winding down the school year and coming close to our submission deadline for portfolios. I'm also going to talk to you about how your teachers could be a peer reviewer, what our next steps will be, and what the support is that we have to offer. So the first thing I want to look at as far as supporting your teachers is the district portfolio lead responsibilities. We talked about these responsibilities back in July and August, and we're going to look at these again today. The first responsibility you have as a portfolio lead is to maintain accurate teacher rosters in the platform. That includes adding and removing your teachers throughout the school year. You have 100% of our portfolio leads have submitted your rosters, and I thank you for that. Your second responsibility is to distribute all your portfolio related information and your resources to your teachers in a timely manner. We want to make sure our teachers are getting the information that we have available as soon as they can so that they can use that information. The third responsibility you have as a portfolio lead is to monitor their submission status. So we're going to be talking a little bit about that today, but mostly we talked about that last month. So if you need to go back and refer to your February office hour, we're also going to look really closely at this at the April office hour in a few weeks. That goes right along with your fourth responsibility is to monitor and support that everyone does finish. We would love to see 100% completion this year. And then finally, to communicate with us as you need, as you have questions, and let us know how we can help you as you help your teachers. So we're going to focus on each one of these responsibilities today. I also want to encourage you that after we post this office hour recording and this PowerPoint on the team website, please feel free to share this PowerPoint in particular with your teachers. There's some valuable information in this PowerPoint today. As I said, everyone has submitted their rosters and everyone has verified their rosters, and we thank you for that. We are no longer adding teachers to the platform, but if you will keep an eye on your user directory, if you see that a teacher has left your district since February's verification deadline, or if you have a teacher who has now become PYE, I can take them out of the platform. So let us know if you see if there's anyone who needs to be removed before the deadline. To me, this is one of your most important responsibilities, is making sure teachers know the information and the resources that we have available. On the team website, I am very proud of the work Micah has done to develop portfolio pages. If you will click on the Student Growth Portfolio tab, you will see that when you click on the Portfolio tab, the first thing is the resources. So we have a description of what is a portfolio, but each teacher model has a section on this page where they can go straight to their particular page. A very critical guide is the portfolio guidebook for teachers and administrators. I have found that just in this past week, most all of the questions I've received in portfolio questions could have been answered from this guidebook. So it's important that your teachers have this guidebook, that they have read the guidebook, and they're aware of the qualifications. This guidebook really is for any model, all portfolio teachers, and it just walks them through the process of how to do a portfolio. New this year, we updated this FAQ in July, but this FAQ has the questions that were frequently asked last year, and we've added them to the team website. So encourage your teachers to download and look at the FAQ as well. When you hover on the Student Growth Portfolio tab, the portfolio teacher guidance page is new this year. And again, I just want to thank Micah for the work she's put into making this page. It is so useful for teachers. And again, I would say most all of the questions that we receive could be found, the answers can be found on this particular page. We have, we have put the teacher FAQ on this page. It's the same FAQ that was on the resource page. But what I want you to be aware of is that on this page, here you will see the pre-K through second grade column. It has their resource guide. So if they click on these links, this is the resource guide where they can read their standard, they can read how to assess their standard, and they can find their rubric. This column, the assessment and scoring guidance, is a new guidance document that we made this summer, and it is an explanation of the standard. It's an explanation of that strand. We talk them through exactly how to assess that standard, and then we talk through how that standard is scored, and it's followed up with frequently asked questions that either peer reviewers or teachers have asked us in the past around that particular standard. So I would also be sure your teachers have access to their scoring and assessment guidebook. These two columns are YouTube videos. If a teacher clicks on the standard, they can watch a YouTube video of either Micah or myself talking through the entire standard, the expectations for how to assess that standard, and the expectations of each level on the rubric. For your PE, world language, and fine arts teachers, their first column has their rubric. Their middle column has guidance that the PE guidance we have gathered from prior PE peer reviewers and teachers. We have the world language guidebook and a fine arts resource guide. And then in our video section for this year, currently we have webinars on how they upload in PE, world language, and fine arts. The next responsibility we want to talk about is how to monitor submission status. We will go very carefully and very precisely through the point level score details in our April office hour. And I will show you exactly how you can monitor what the status is for your teachers, their point A submissions, their point B submissions, when an entire collection is finished. We have talked already in February how to monitor their collection progress. I do want to remind you, if you still have any teachers who have not logged in, activated their account, and set up their collections and their standards, they will not be in these teacher reports. As you're monitoring and supporting the timely completion of the portfolio, it's important that you first know what is the deadline. The deadline is 5 p.m., whether you're Central or Eastern time, on May the 6th. May 6th is a Monday this year. So we have moved that a little bit further out. Typically, we are submission is on a Friday, but this year we put it on a Monday to give people the weekend if they need it. So May 6th, 5 p.m. And in order for it to be complete, it has to be 100% in their collection. Their point A's and B's for all three differentiated groups must be uploaded. They must self-score their work. And all four collections must be at 100% to be a complete portfolio. Your next month, when we look at that point level progress, I will show you how to monitor to ensure that they are 100% complete before May 6th. If they are not complete by 5 o'clock p.m. on May 6th, they do receive an incomplete for their portfolio. And a teacher who receives an incomplete portfolio does not generate an LOE. So it's very, very critical that you are aware of their status, as well as teachers are aware if they are 100% complete by that deadline. On page 7 of the guidebook, it also gives this information. There will be no extensions. At 5:01, teachers are no longer able to submit. At the next day on May 7th, if we receive emails where something has happened, we cannot extend. At 5 p.m., May 6th, it is closed. If a teacher reaches out to you, and we have this sometimes, and they want to make sure they are complete, this is what their screen looks like when they log in. Here's a teacher who was 100% complete last year. The status will say completed. The circles for A will be completely blue for A and B. If the circles are not complete, the status will not say completed. So here the teacher can see she has 4 complete collections. She is fine. If the teacher goes in and makes changes, the status will change. If they log in and they remove something, or they try to change their scores, they need to do that before 5 o'clock, because if 5 p.m. May 6th, they've gone in and started making changes, this status where it says complete today, maybe it's May 1st, it will change if they go in and remove something or change something and don't leave it back complete by May 6th. That has also happened. So we want to be careful that on May 6th, maybe before you leave school, everybody check their status and make sure it is complete. When they click into the collection, this is what they see. So this teacher can see for this particular collection, her point A is at 100%. And we've had teachers who forget to self-score one thing, then it will not be 100%. It might be, I think, 83% or 86%. If they forget anything in these categories, whether they forgot to upload, if they don't upload, they can't score. But we have had teachers who upload their work and forget to self-score. All 3 samples must be complete, the work uploaded and the self-scores submitted, and both A and B must have 100% for that collection to say status complete. And again, this is the teacher's view from their page. Finally, I want to talk about communications. When teachers have questions, we encourage them to ask you first. If you don't know the answer, don't hesitate to email us at portfolio.questions@tn.gov. If teachers email us at portfolio.questions@tn.gov, we always copy you, so you know, one, who has questions and what type of misunderstandings do they have, and just in case you need to go and support that teacher, or if another teacher in your district comes to you with that same question, you have the answer. So we will always copy you when we answer teachers that email us. I do encourage you to please talk to your teachers and tell them, do not click on the chat feature in the platform. The people in the chat feature work for the large company, the Canvas and Structure company. They are not, they're not experts on the Tennessee standards. They're not experts on our Tennessee portfolio process. They are experts in their platform. So most questions that are asked in the chat are always, the answers for them are always email portfolio.questions. Instructure will tell me that they received questions from teachers, but I don't know what those questions, I can't see the teacher's questions. So then I don't know who to reach out to, and I don't know what their question was. So encourage them, do not use the chat feature. Some more critical information around supporting your teachers. And this is just so important for teachers to know when they're uploading their student work. The student work is scored based on the student's growth in that standard. And the only way to measure student growth is to score student work. We want to make sure your teachers understand that a collection has a point A and a point B. In the point A, there are 3 different students. In the point B, the same student that they use for emerging has to be the same student that they use in emerging point B. So point A and point B has to be the same student. But emerging, proficient, and advanced cannot be the same student. They cannot put Sally as emerging and put her as proficient. It has to be 3 different students at the group level, but it has to be the same student at point A and point B for that level. Also, they need to make sure that they are checking their work. Accidents happen, and sometimes teachers might upload point A's emerging and put that same piece of work for point A in the proficient students' point A. It cannot be the same work. The point A work and the point B work cannot be the same piece of work. So just making sure that they are checking everything. And then finally, the student work has to be aligned to the standard. Thinking back to where I shared the portfolio teacher guidance page, we have explicitly explained this is the standard. So this standard is assessing this skill. And so we tell them exactly what is the standard asking students to know and be able to do. And so when we look at that student work, the student work must assess the standard. If it does not, it cannot be scored. One example is if they chose the literature narrative standard and all of their student work artifacts is aligned to the informational text standard, that's not aligned to, they're not aligned. So it's so important that teachers are looking at what are they uploading, and are they uploading the correct work that's aligned to the standard that in the collection that they are in. We have sometimes seen math work coming in on a reading collection. I'm sure that's a mistake by the teacher, but it needs to be checked. They need to check themselves before the deadline, which I would advise your teachers to not wait until May 6th so that they have those days leading up to May 6th just to double check that all of their work is exactly what they intend for it to be in the platform. Some reasons that student work is not scored, and when I say not scored, it actually gets the score of a 0, so it's not left unscored. So I want to make that clear. All work is looked at, all work is scored, but when we say student work can't be scored, we mean to the rubric. So if the rubric says required evidence is a video, then it has to be a video. If they upload paper when it should be an oral assessment, it will not be scored according to the rubric. It will be automatically point A and point B will receive a 0, which is no growth for that student. And this is not just in pre-K through 2nd grade. If you have fine arts, all PE is video. If you have world language, some of the world language collections are also oral. So make sure they know it must be a video if it's an oral assessment. In some of the standards, the required evidence will say we need an answer key. One example off the top of my head that I recall, we've had teachers, and I believe it was kindergarten, where the teacher makes the sound and the student writes the letter. There is no way to know if you are scoring that work and you just get 26 letters on a piece of paper to know what sound did the teacher make. Was that supposed to be a B or was that supposed to be a D if they don't upload the answer key? So if an answer key is required, they must submit the answer key. The rubric tells them exactly which collections and what standards are required to have an answer key. No answer key, the student work cannot be scored. We don't know what the correct answer should be. If the student is not the same, if it is clear that it is a boy at point A and a girl at point B, that is not the same student. It will not be scored. Point A and point B will also receive a 0. If the student in emerging is the exact same student in proficient or in advanced, that will not be scored. It will receive a 0 at both point A and point B. This happens rarely, but we have seen where teachers have uploaded a blank piece of paper or a blank video and said in the context narrative, the student couldn't do anything. all students can do something, even if it's a scribble. So if the student work is blank and there is nothing on the paper, there is nothing on the video, that will also receive a 0 at both point A and point B. This last bullet, unsupported file type is uploaded. Please make sure your teachers are looking at the guidebook for administrators and teachers at the file format section. When teachers say, I did upload a video, and if I say we, peer reviewers can't see it, they can't see it if they click on view score, if they don't upload the right type. So the best way for them to check this, when they upload in that upload artifacts link, when they click on view score, that is the exact same view that a peer reviewer sees. So if they click on view score and they cannot see the video, that's a red flag that they have uploaded the wrong type. If it's a video, it must be saved at the correct file type and then uploaded to the platform with that file type. If it's a picture or a Word document, any type of work that's uploaded, they need to make sure that the file type is correct.
Hey, Tracy, I'm going to interrupt you. We do have a question in the chat. Where should the teacher upload the answer key?
That's a great question. And what we have put in a guidance is it can be one, you can't upload into context narrative. But for example, that same standard I was talking about in kindergarten where they say the letter and the child writes, they say the sound, the child writes the letter. If they say the same 26 letters to all 3 kids, they could put that one answer key in the context narrative. They could, if they want to type it out on a Word document or take a picture of the answer key, they could upload it at A and B. And sometimes teachers may ask the same 26 letters at point B, but in a different order. So as long as the answer key is clear in the context narrative that it's for all 3 kids at point A and point B, just long as it's clarified in context narrative, that's fine. Or they can upload the answer key with the student work. When they upload student work, you can add artifacts. So you can upload the video, upload a picture, and then click add artifacts, and they can continue to add more things. Any other question?
That's all we have in the chat right now.
Okay.
Thank you.
This is the document that's on page 13 that shows teachers what type of file. Teachers don't tend to have many problems with their pictures. Most of them are coming as the .png or the .jpeg, but any of these formats are fine. The videos is where we still see teachers struggle. I'm not sure exactly where they're taking their videos, most likely on a phone, but they must send, for example, if I take the video on my phone, I must send that video to my computer and then save it on your desktop and make sure the file type is one of these. If the file type is not one of these, as I said, when they click on view score, they can't see the video either. They may be able to see it in their upload section, but they must be able to see it in the view score. So this is the biggest question. So make sure your teachers see this page and that their videos are saved to their desktop in one of these formats before they upload it into Portfolio.
And can we point out real quick, Tracy, we
Yes.
go back one more. Videos cannot be uploaded in a presentation format. We have had that in the past. So if they embed videos into a PowerPoint and then upload the PowerPoint, a PowerPoint is not a supported video file format, and so it will not play. So just keep in mind that if it's a video, it has to be a video format. It cannot be in presentation mode.
Thank you, Micah. That is a great point. They will be able to see the PowerPoint, but it will only be a presentation. You're exactly right. The video must be uploaded by itself in one of these files. Also, I did not mention the Firefox browser, we use Chrome, we use Firefox, but I have found that when we use Firefox, that's Micah and I, when we are in the platform, when we use Firefox, we do not have any issues uploading and seeing student work. So I encourage you to have your teachers always use Firefox with this platform. It works exceptionally well, and they will have, no, I would assume, no trouble with their uploads. Okay, just a few more things, some tidbits we've heard from portfolio leads and from peer reviewers. I would encourage your teachers, save those videos, save those pictures in more than one location. We have had teachers who have lost their phones. We have had teachers who have broken their laptops, and that was the only place they had their student work stored. So save it in more than one location. Also, as I stated when I was talking about the videos, have them upload their files that they're going to submit to the platform to their desktop. I know they may have them saved in many places right now, but when they're ready to do the upload, tell them to save it to their desktop, check that file format, make sure they're saving it in the correct format, and then when they go into their platform, they can upload it straight from the desktop where they saved it into the platform, and it's in the correct file format. Again, have them check when they self-score, when they click view score, if they can see the student work and they can hear the video, all is well. The peer reviewers can too. If they can't hear or see their video, a peer reviewer cannot hear and see the video. Peer reviewers only see the view score box. If they look at view score and they see that their student work is upside down, or we've seen all kinds of things. Whatever they see in view score, that's exactly what a peer reviewer sees and views. So that's the place where they need to check to make sure it's very clear. If they put their answer key there, make sure that they can see it. Everything in the view score is seen by peer reviewers. Peer reviewers do not see the upload artifact section. Before I move into talking about peer reviewers, are there any questions, or are there anything that your teachers are asking you that I could help you with around supporting your teachers in their portfolio process? No questions right now? Is there anything in the chat?
Nothing at the moment.
Okay, great. As I was talking about the view for peer reviewers, it is important to note, and I'm sure you all know, that student work is scored by peer reviewers, and peer reviewers are exactly that. They are reviewing the work, and they are the teacher's peers. They are portfolio users in the platform. Those are our priority for hiring, the people that are actually teaching these models and submitting in the platform. We hired peer reviewers through application process. We are not making anyone be a peer reviewer. We're not asking you to submit peer reviewers. We want teachers that want to be peer reviewers, that do a great job to be our educators who are scoring this very critical process. We have overwhelmingly already received peer reviewer applications, and most of I think I looked this morning, 93% of our applicants were peer reviewers in the past. So it's a good experience. Peer reviewers want to come back and be peer reviewers again. If you have teachers who have never been a peer reviewer, I encourage you to give them this information. The solicitation explains everything that happens during the peer review process. The application link is where they go in, put in their information, and that is submitted to us. Peer review occurs the day after Memorial Day on May 28th, and it is an open peer review time. It's from May 28th to June the 14th. It is done on the teacher's time. It's done on their computers, on their devices. We do, Micah and I do have office hours every single day during this period for them to get on and ask us questions if they have any during this time. We train them. It is just a really good process. And if any of you have had peer reviewers in the past, I'm confident that they came back with positive things to say, and I know that they are able to help your teachers in your district. So if you don't have a peer reviewer in your district, or you haven't in the past, I encourage you to do so, because peer reviewers do come back and they are such a great support for the teachers in their school and in their district. Peer reviewers are paid $20 for each collection. So if you think about when I was showing you, a teacher's entire portfolio has 4 collections. So a peer reviewer gets 1 collection at a time. So if I'm a peer reviewer, I might get 1 collection that's a reading collection from Micah. I might get a math collection from Amy. A peer reviewer does not score one teacher's entire portfolio. They just get random collections in their model at a time. So every collection they score, they are paid $20. Applications are due to the department by March 29th. That is Good Friday. We are aware of that. But that is the last day that the applications will be accepted. Once we receive all the applications will be scored on the rubric that is in the solicitation. And then I believe it's April 8th is when we will announce who has been hired. And I will email you, Portfolio Questions will email you, letting you know who from your district was hired. Are there any questions about peer review? Are there any comments?
If you have any visual arts teachers, encourage them to apply. We need visual arts applications.
We do, and we also need world language,
Mhm.
French particularly. So if you have French teachers doing a portfolio, we would really like to see more applications coming from those models. Any comments from any portfolio leads who have had peer reviewers come back and share with you? None? Okay. So your next step is to just continue to monitor the platform, make sure everyone is logged in. They have gotten their collections chosen, their standards. At this point, if you have any teacher who is having trouble logging in, we need to know ASAP. All teachers should be in the platform and working on uploading their work. Ensure that they all understand their rubric expectations and how to collect evidence and how to upload evidence in the platform. Please share this PowerPoint with your teachers. You can share this recording with your teachers. It's all live on our team website, and we would love for teachers to see this information and hear this information as well. And then finally, encourage your teachers to apply to be a peer reviewer by the deadline, March the 29th. Next month, we will be wrapping it up. It'll be our last meeting before the deadline. So we will spend that time on April 20th talking about those reports that I shared with you, the point level progress reports, the collection reports. And then in May, I will show you how to go in and see your teacher's final scores. And I'll let you know when those final scores will be uploaded. If you have any questions, email us at portfolio.questions. And if your teachers have any questions, encourage them to reach out to you, and they can email us as well. Thank you. And again, I hope you all have a great spring break if you're on spring break. And if you're not, I hope you have a great spring break when you are on spring break.
Can I ask a question?
Absolutely.
Hey, I had a question from one of my preschool teachers who had done her student had done their work on a whiteboard. Is that, and she took a picture of it, is that acceptable, or does she need to have that done on paper?
Do you know what type of work she's referring to?
It looked like it was the child had written letters on the whiteboard.
Okay. Let's see. I had the pre-K rubric
As
pulled up.
long as we can
See
see
it.
what the child has written, then that's fine. It doesn't matter what medium they've written on, if it's a piece of paper or on a whiteboard, as long as we can see the child's work clearly.
Yeah,
And Sherry,
it's clearly letters.
yeah, and Sherry, I was going to say, I'm looking at the rubric right now for pre-K. It's important that the whiteboard, if that's what they take a picture of, that it has 10 letters, because it can't just be the letter A that she wrote and the letter A they wrote, unless they upload 10 pictures, because for this standard, they need to access at least 10 letters.
Yeah, there were multiple letters in the picture. She
Perfect.
shared it with me.
Then that's like Micah said, whether it's a piece of paper or it's a picture of the board, it's the student work.
Thank you.
Yeah, and the required evidence says the writing product. So their product is a whiteboard. That's fine.
All right. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Well, if there are no further questions, I will let you all get back to your afternoon. Thank you for coming, and I look forward to seeing you in April. If you have a question and you'd like to stay on, we will stay on for a few more minutes.